go into this then. Game one of this best of 5, another best of 5. Man, best of 5s. I do feel as though I'm still not sure about the best of 5s. They do feel pretty long for like a group. The fact that they're gonna try and do the majority of 3 groups on stream today with best of 5s is like, I don't know, it sort of blows my mind. It's like, what, really? You're gonna try and do best of 5s? Like, I don't understand how or why you would do that. Ugh. Bottom right hand side of the map, our red Zerg player is Zanster. Currently teamless. A true legend in the StarCraft 2 scene, though. Bottom left from Team Liquid, it is MaNa. Okay then, hatch comes down from Zanster, and we are going to be seeing on Honor Grounds, our first map, the horizontal spawns. What is our map order actually? Honor Grounds into Belcher Vestige, followed by Abyssal Reef, followed by Proxima Station, followed by Newkirk Precinct. So Paladino vetoed out, and Cactus Valley vetoed out as well. Interesting set of, pretty standard set of maps. I wish we had the new maps, man. I'm kind of bored of these old maps. I feel as though when there's new maps out, and we got to cast them a little bit the other day in another tournament, it feels like a little bit of a tease to not be able to cast them now because we've playing the old maps. I'm a big fan of when we get new maps. I always love new maps and being able to talk about them and look at them, and we even played some ladder on the new maps the other night as well, which was a mixture of successes. A mixture of successes. Anyways, let's see how this is gonna go. Cast Minesweeper? No, I'm not gonna cast Minesweeper. Can you imagine how dull a Minesweeper cast would be? Oh, he clicks on the one. The one means that there's a mine there. He's going to click around the mine because he knows there's not a mine there. And oh my god, now there's 2 mines next to each other. And that is going to mean that he's going to clear 2 more mines. He's got 97 mines to go. Let's go. He's 3 seconds into this game. And it's fucking dreadful. What on earth would you actually even talk about? Oh, I love the positioning of that mine right there because, well, there's a mine there, so it's correct. Yeah. It's like, the best part of this cast would be, oh, here he goes, the 50-50 moment, and he loses. And everyone's just like, oh, well, that was shit. Can you imagine how terrible that would be? Games that should never, ever be casted. Minesweeper. That is the start of a new list. The start of a new list. What else is, what other game should never, ever be cast? I'm trying to think. I don't know. Minesweeper is definitely on there. Pac-Man. Don't think Pac-Man should ever be cast either. Pretty sure. Maybe, actually. Minesweeper is truly one of the worst games ever to cast, I'm pretty certain. Anyways, Stargate is scouted by Zanster. I mean, you already saw it with the Overlord, but the Ling comes in as well, just to double check it's not being cancelled or anything. I mean, if the Ling's there, you may as well make sure. As we do see from MaNa, 2 Adepts starting to move out onto the map. So 2 Adepts moving onto the map here, going to come down through the south side, and we'll be moving in towards the lower right to have a little bit of a look, see what's up, see what's happening, and be like, yo, dudes, what's going on? What is going on? Gonna see a couple of Lings being taken down. The Crypt Tumor as well should go down. Didn't realize how little damage Adepts do to Crypt Tumors. Wow, Adepts 5-shot Crypt Tumors, really? That seems crazy. 50 health against the, how much damage did Adept do? 10? Wow, 5-shot Creep Tumors. It's just the fact that they do so much versus light, which is insane. The fact they do 22 versus light, it's like so much damage, man. It's crazy. Oracle comes through the south side of the map, then looking to get some initial damage done. The single Phoenix follow-up most likely will not go into too many more Phoenix. Just wants the first one to be able to start cleaning out a few of these, a few, an Overlord here, an Overlord there. Just kind of push Zanster's map vision away and back towards his own little section of the map, which is set up to the bottom right-hand side here on Honor Grounds. So there's that Phoenix working his way through. This Overlord doesn't know what's hitting him. Well, he does. It's a Phoenix. He's not blind. Overlords can see, right? Yeah, of course they can. They got eyes. Look, there they are. They got like 4 eyes on each side of their head. He definitely knows that it's a Phoenix that's attacking him. No way he doesn't. Meanwhile, Adepts do move across the map. No glaives with this, which means that with the number of Lings that are up, it's unrealistic for him to commit into this sort of location. And so instead he just pulls back a little bit, and he's actually not going to be in a very good position over here. You know, he's going to be surrounded, but the Oracle is here. which helps out a lot. One Adept goes down for all of those Lings. The Queen's trying to get the kill on the... What on earth were they fighting? Were they still fighting the Adepts? I don't even know. The Adepts probably could have shaded there to pick up some more Lings. Actually, would have probably been quite effective. But he decides not to, and so he backs away. Monopoly? Yeah, Monopoly would be a dreadful game to cast. Solitaire. Snake? Yeah, also. League of Legends. Wow! 420 Blaze, a guy in the chat is literally asking to be unmodded today. This is the second offense of the day. You serious, mate? Are you looking to try? Are you literally trying to not be a mod? Probe goes down to the Zerglings. Good stuff right there. And again, Utah's Carapace is on the way up, 10 seconds away from completion. +1 melee attacks, also building as we speak. Also about 10 seconds away from completion right now, as MaNa going to fly his Phoenix over to this side and is going to be able to start attacking this Overlord, so Don do a little bit of damage here and there. Meanwhile, Lair is on the way up. Those couple of Overlords building too, and again, just going to see this Phoenix still pushing this Overlord away to the side, so pushing it all the way back in towards the base. Again, I mean, that's one Phoenix. It's just designed to do stuff like this. MaNa is still warping in Adepts, by the way. He's going pure Adept right now. If Glaive's about to finish, well, he'll probably just ignore the 4th base. Is there any need for him to attack it? No, he's better off kind of getting towards the front and doing damage ASAP. Banelings are, well, initial Banelings are ready. There's not loads of them. There's no Bane speed either. Queens will come to the front now as the Adepts will now be warped in towards the main base. Here we go, going to be seeing these Ling Bane coming through. I mean, obviously one of the big benefits of the Banes is that you force the Adepts to split, so suddenly the Lings can get better surrounds. Big warping into the main base, that's where the Banes are headed to. I'm actually surprised that Zanster, I guess MaNa's just probably could be doing a bit more over here. He actually shades back in towards the back of the mineral line. I don't know, man, these Banes aren't really going to trade that efficiently in this position. Needs the Zerglings to come on through. Prism are going to warp in towards the natural once again. Adepts now shade up into the main base. They get a good position though, and they're going to trade well in this little bit of a kind of gap. Adepts do get hit by the Banes, however. Status ward to this side as we see more Adepts coming into this location. Once more going to try and hit this mineral line. Drones begin to fall. A single Zergling gets killed as it pops the Stasis ward. 14 drones now killed in this attack. MaNa up by 16 workers. Army supply looks good for him as well. A few more Lings getting caught. Splits away from the Banelings to minimize the damage here. One Adept soaks about 5 Banes. Beautiful stuff. As now more Banes come into the left-hand side. He lifts. He backs away. He's just so well split, man. Adepts drop back down again. And this is way too much. In the end, MaNa is going to trade out into a victory. But man, this was not easy. Like, this was very complicated stuff for MaNa. Like, this was very complex for him to pull off, in the sense that I know a lot of you guys are like, whoa, you just spammed Adepts and won. But he had to go all over the place and really find multiple fights and really pull Zanster apart throughout the 3 bases to make the most of this. As these 2 Adepts still going to town over here. It's another 22 worker kills. Zanster momentarily is going to realize that he has no workers left, and that's where he types out the GG. MaNa takes game number 1 of this best of 2 of this series. Belgian Vestige, a very different map to Honor Grounds, but I mean, we really only saw the 3 bases of Honor Grounds in a very aggressive, quick play from MaNa to close out the game. So honestly, we could just see. I mean, the thing to kind of take note of on Honor Grounds is the fact that, on Belgian Vestige, I should say, we'll go for it and explain this the other way around. The fact that on Belgian Vestige, there's only 5 bases per player, so you never truly get in towards a super late game composition, because you just don't have a super late game amount of money on the map. As we do have to the top left hand side of the map, the red Protoss player from Team Liquid. It is MaNa. And bottom right, the blue Zerg player is going to be Zanster. Man, camera functions are really all over the shop at the moment. It's really weird. They're here, there, and everywhere. There's the extractor dropping on down. Zanster setting up into this, and MaNa will opt for the Forge in the back. And we'll be looking to throw down some cannons in the near future as the first pylon starts to come on down. So MaNa will be looking to cannon rush Zanster out of the natural expansion. This happened yesterday between Fear and Zanster, actually. It wasn't this map, it was Abyssal Reef. And Zanster did have a pretty good response to it. Well, actually, no, I think Zanster had a terrible response to it, and Zanster was behind all game. But Fear couldn't close it out in the late game, had some real issues taking engagements. which sort of threw the game away a little bit. So we'll see how this goes. MaNa with the first cannon on the way up. Obviously, so far Zanster has no idea about this, and by the time he sees this, it's going to be by the time the hatchery is finished. So he's not going to have the chance to cancel. He's not going to have a chance to get a drone out over towards the third base either, so he's going to be limited to one base. As he sees this now, I mean, the Queen starts to build, that's something. As again, this probe just patrolling away at the front, looking to see how else it can be useful. Ozell coming down to the south side. And you see again the cannon just going to work his way through this. Second cannon as well. A few lings coming out. Obviously, MaNa will probably try, Zanster will probably try to bust through this. With the lings there, but he's going to build a couple of spines. Okay, so in that case, he's probably just going to give up the hatchery, because there's no way he can save the hatchery if he's just going to build these spines. They're not going to be done in time before the hatchery falls. So this is oh, is the Queen stuck in between that spine? I don't think so. Firing on the Zealot. This hatchery is going to drop now. Prudence will come in. He's going to use that as a chance to move forward with these Zerglings. Cannons are going to be only killing off a couple of lings, and so the lings begin to move across the map. But there's a wall over here, there's an adept on the way out. He's still very safe. We're going to see another cannon. MaNa is not going to let anything else come out of this front base. Link speed on the way up from Zanster. 12 more lings. Stargate coming down too. You could just make an Evo chamber and elevate a lings out over here. Could be an easy way to do things as well. I feel as though people forget about that as an option nowadays. We don't see many cannon rushes in Legacy of the Void, but it could be a really simple, clean, and an easy way to just move out of your base when you're kind of blocked in like this. Things do start to break through at the front. Just going to tank some damage while the spine crawlers get their burrows working. Triple cannon though against triple spine. Yeah, I mean, spines do too much damage, man. Look how broken Zerg is, man. Look at how good their static defense is. Literally unkillable. MaNa had 2 pylons and 3 cannons here, and you all know pylons kill everything. This is so broken. What a disgusting race. Absolutely disgraceful. I mean, triple spine is always going to break through those cannons, especially with the help of the Zerglings. And obviously the negative for the spines is they have to relocate into position. But that's why the Zerglings are there, to kind of tank while he moves into that sort of setup. MaNa 9 workers ahead, but has only just started his natural expansion. Kills off an Overlord. Both players supply blocked at the moment. MaNa quite heavily as he is lost those 2 pylons at the front. Zanster losing this Overlord. Very painful as well. He's also going to lose this Overlord momentarily. So that's going to be pretty neat. So Overlords will get taken down. As the Overlords drop, we will see the Oracle is on the way up as well from MaNa. So Oracle is starting to build. Again, just another pylon coming into the side here. So another pylon starts coming up. And yeah, a couple more Overlords is going to be popping out. Hatcheries continuing to build as it's a double expansion from Zanster. Starting to drone up a bit himself as well. Some lings will come towards the front too. Still don't think it's a pretty situation. 10 workers down. His income has been way down for multiple minutes now. He's at this point where he's just going to have to try and drone very, very heavily. MaNa again, I mean, he was oversaturated, but he was still mining more. And now we see the Twilight Council coming down for him too. Probably just resonating glaives, and I would not be surprised if MaNa just made enough units to just push across the map and end this game. Void Ray is still hunting with an Oracle now as well. He's going to come in towards the third base and immediately uses Prismatic Alignment to start working his way through this. The Oracle will be looking for an opportunity. He's going to hit the mineral line on the natural. Oh, Zanster's not in a position to lose drones, man. The last thing he wants to do is lose more drones. He's only got a Queen to defend. He's actually going to target down the Queen with the Oracle because he knows if he kills the Queen, there's less to deal with the Void Ray. He's not actually going to kill the Queen, though. That was a little bit of a mistake then. Usually an Oracle can kill a Queen, but not sure if he just messed up micro, if he just started hitting the Queen late. I think he started hitting the Queen late. Looks like the third hatchery will be saved for now. I mean, he's still, like MaNa here, killed a few drones, though. As you do have Spore Crawler just going to relocate down into this position, or just build in this position, I guess, as this drone is setting up to do. MaNa with a gateway on the right side of the map. I mean, we can see the inevitable sort of setting up here, right? More gateways, resonating glaive of depths, and they're all just going to push on forwards and look to just basically end the game in the very near future. It's really not too much of a surprise. MaNa is actually setting up towards a third Nexus, so may not put as much pressure on with these gateways as I'm thinking he will. 2, 3. Yeah, nice amount of damage being done here by the Oracle. Gonna kill this Queen as well and back away again. Loses a bit of health, but still looking healthy for the most part. Third base had to be cancelled. But man, MaNa's just continue to warp in these units across the map, these depths. Warping in slowly until the wolf gate does begin to morph, and now he's going to have plenty of depths to work with. As Zanster, again, because he's so far behind, is just reliant purely on these spines at the front. As soon as the adepts shade past the spine crawlers, this is a massive issue, because Zanster has nothing. 13 Zerglings, which are all across the top right side of the map. He's got no lava to start building Zerglings with. He's in so much trouble. Like, the queens are going to help, but he's just going to shade into the main base away from the queens, which means he's got pretty much free reign over his opponent's kind of mineral line, because the queens just can't keep up, and that's the problem. The mobility of these adepts is going to be pretty much unstoppable for Zanster. Again, a few more drones dropping down here. There's Spore Crawler taking some more shots as well. 2 adepts to the south side or bottom left side will be cleaned up also. And this really is about it. I mean, Spine starting to burrow in mineral lines is nice. It's something, but again, when you've already been behind so far in workers, and now you're just getting even further behind yet again, what are you meant to do? 1 spine in the third base, which is where MaNa's going to head to next with these adepts. Adepts starting to fall. Spine's adding a lot of damage in to help out with that, but I mean, there's 2 oracles here as well. He's actually got the issue of I was going to say the 2 oracles can help out and maybe just kill this spine, but there's actually a spore here anyways. Hatchery goes down. It's again another kick in the teeth, and Zanster right now is limping. He just doesn't have a, he doesn't have a kind of 2 solid decks to stand on. You can see 2 drones, 3 drones more killed off over here. I mean, these drones are just out in the middle of nowhere. Oracle's using up their energy just to finish it up, and he still doesn't even lose that Oracle, which is just so low on health as well. So the fact it's still alive is, again, just crazy. And from this game so far, I mean, 4,300 resources lost for our Zerg, 2,300, and again, throughout, MaNa has been in control of the income for the entirety of the game. A very simple, I mean, is it simple? His plan, it went to plan, you know, in the start, in the start he got the cannon rush off, it surrounded his opponent, he got this adept attack going, that worked too. Like, everything has gone very well for MaNa in game number 2 of this, and I would say he deserves what's going to be a 2-0 lead for himself. As we continue to move on forward, these adepts going to shade up to the high ground. A couple of lings run on by, and lings and bits and pieces keep on moving through as well. That's going to be GG for Zanster, and MaNa picks up game 2 of this best of 5 series. So if that's it, guys, you are going to be taking a in bottom right side, red Zerg player. It is Zanster. Zanster. Top left, blue Protoss from Team Liquid. MaNa up 2-0. Let's see if you can go 3-0 to get that match against Bly in the decider round of the Takes Penthouse Party Game 2. Number 2. Alright then, so. What's going on? Not too much right away, I don't think. You can see a swarm pool dropping down, gas after a hatchery. And MaNa this time, no forge, is just going to be setting himself up towards the classic gate-based expand as well. So, really nothing too crazy. Cybercore coming down as well, and just going to be seeing the initial bits and pieces getting set up and ready to go. So, again, nothing too crazy, nothing too ridiculous just yet. In the very early stages of game number 3. Overlord on the way out from Zanster as well, so setting up into this Overlord coming down. We see the spawning pool is going to finish up. And again, the Queen just starting to build too. Just waiting, man. Just want to see how this develops, see what this develops into really over the next few minutes. Again, just getting confirmation to kind of keep you guys on track of what's happening today. After this group, we have Group C starting, which is the group of death. And then Groups A and B both start at 8:30 PM CEST, so that's in about 5 hours from now. And they're going to start no matter what at that time. So, again, that's the point where we're finally going to cast something that base trade don't cast. So we'll see how that goes. You can see the Stalker poking away at this Overlord. This Ovi from Zanster again pushed all the way up to the top side here, and will indeed go down. Lings coming up the ramp will sneak on by, and Just going to be seeing the Stalker continuing to see what's up. One link going down, and then again, a couple of links here, a couple of links there. And as this pro from MaNa is going to be getting kept alive, actually. Nothing again ridiculous on Abyssal Reef in the super early stages. Guys, what's up in the chat? How are we doing? It's so quiet today. Obviously not expecting it to be too much chitter-chatter. But yesterday was kind of crazy, actually. We had so much chitter-chatter in the chat. It was busy. All day long it was very, very... it was loud and boisterous, you know? Is that a good way to describe it? Loud and boisterous, the chat? I guess it was. We had a good time yesterday in the chat. Let me know what's up. Let me know who you're supporting in the series. Let me know if you kind of find it awesome that MaNa is up 2-0. Let me know if you want to maybe see Zanster pulling it back a bit and put himself onto the kind of point where he can at least make this little bit of a series out of this. For now, he throws down an Evolution Chamber, and we'll be looking to go into the +1 melee to begin with. And then once he goes into that +1 melee, he'll have the upgrade to play with when he goes into the Ling Bane playstyle overall. So, see how this goes. A few links to the left-hand side from Zanster will be running by the Oracle overhead. Just fly over, and yeah, Link's going to come in here. We're going to see that probe getting picked off, and we do see the Adepts coming forwards too. One Zergling does go down, but just the one. The rest just going to again back away here rather nicely. Still a lot of things, and Zanster will be looking to use these to try and delay the third base, but Adepts are in position, not kind of back to the wall just yet, which means they are going to get surrounded. More Adepts from the right side should make this a winnable trade for the Protoss player, but he has to pull the Oracle back too. So Zanster kills 4 Adepts, he forces the Oracle to come back home, slows down the harassment of MaNa. This was good, because it also means that now there's not going to be a whole bunch of Adepts shading across the map together to apply pressure behind this Stargate opener. As again, the 2 Oracles together are moving down towards the bottom right side, and they're going to get ready to jump in towards this mineral line and see if they can get a bit of damage done. 2 more links to the left. You're going to see a couple of these getting cleaned up pretty much right away. There's one link here from Zanster also running down the left side. MaNa around the center of the map is also just seeing what his opportunities, what his potential is in the next few moments. And there is a 4th hatchery coming down from Zanster as well. Look at the lair also coming through here. 11 drones on the way. And +1 melee will be finishing up very shortly too. A couple of drones getting killed off. These Oracles having a good time. The 2 of them together, of course, can do a great job. He's actually going to use the Assassin's Sword. Zanster dealt with this very well yesterday, but today he doesn't. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 workers caught. And that is a very frustrating 21 seconds of stasis, which those workers have to sit through right now. I think he's going to run back in towards the mineral line here and keep on trying to find a little bit more damage. Again, just looking to see what he can do here and there. Zanster, I like it. He's been very aggressive with the game so far. As you do just have the hatchery being taken as a 4th base and a 5th base, sorry. So actually this is Zanster really going macro mode. And again, this is the first game where MaNa's really allowing him to go into macro mode. You know, MaNa himself throws down the 2nd robo facility just now. Resonant Glaives is only just coming up. Nothing to really stop his opponent from just going into Ling Bane Hydra, so Zanster will get in towards the later stages of this game. And again, so far, nice stuff with the Lings just to keep MaNa busy, and again, keep MaNa on his own side of the map a little bit as well, I guess. In certain, in the sense of just keeping his opponent kind of occupied. Overlord will take some shots. This Phoenix is going to push through, and again, that Overlord is going to get chased away through the south side. So again, some nice bits and pieces, and Hydra Den is going to be coming up with the muscular augments as well. So muscular augments coming on through, and just going to be seeing this Phoenix again still firing away at an Overlord. So a couple of drones getting picked off also. These 2 Oracles flying around to see where they can go as well. And that Psystorm upgrade coming in on the Templar Archives and the main base also. So Psystorm upgrade coming through. We're going to see again the Oracles here just fighting a little bit against some creep. He's got an Observer, so he doesn't have to use a Revelation. It's actually not what you would usually see kind of cleaning out creep, is it? But, I mean, it's effective. It works. Obviously, I mean, energy-based, he's using some energy, but it works out, I guess. You can't really complain about it. It's doing its job. Again, with the Side Storm coming up, I mean, MaNa will be set up into the composition he wants. Zanster has the composition he wants, and this game very much so now will come down to a point of who engages better, who can take the better fights, who can position themselves in the, in the positions and the, locations which just work out the best. So, and that's sort of what we begin to head into here. Is Ling's just going to morph a few Banes actually already towards the front now. And again, this Ling Hydra Force from Zanster going to start pushing his way through these rocks as well. So, Rock's going to get taken down. And obviously, one of the better places to fight on Abyssal Reef is going to be towards this 4th base, because it's just an area where it is kind of choky, but you can concave up a little bit better. Sometimes you can flank around from this left side as well with a few units, and that's exactly what he's going to do with these Zerglings. He's going to come in, but look at the Stasis Wards to begin with. Big storms on the Hydralisks as well. The Lings in the back are having a pretty good time. They're taking down actually only one of the High Templar. I thought it was going to be a bit more. Initially, it looked so successful. Zanster, though, somehow is still pushing through. Archon's on the way up, but they're not morphed in just yet. And the first one will go down before it's morphed in. Another wave of Adepts coming forwards too. MaNa, is he going to let the 4th base live? If Zanster's going to let the 4th base live, apparently so. Adepts back at home are distracting, are the reason which I imagine Zanster is turning back around. But that was I mean, to not kill the 4th base, the fact that neither of them either cancelled or killed the 4th is like insane. Wow. MaNa warps in some more High Templar to get ready for wave 2 of this. With the double robot up, he will replace 2 Immortals at a time, which is important. Again, that tech kind of, the quantity of tech back up there is going to be huge as charge starts as well. But he's currently got a lot of minerals and no gas, so MaNa could really do with a charge upgrade so that he can justify warping in these Zealots. Charge is actually not that essential for Zealots. I mean, it's nice, but it's nice, but they're still able to do bits and pieces without the charge upgrade. This is obviously a classic thing to do on Abyssal Reef as well, just sort of splitting up of units here. Let's sort of focus towards the fight at the front. Banes are being tanked by the Immortals very nicely so far. 4th base does fall, and the probes that were on it do go down. Also, probes on the natural mineral line starting to get cleaned out as well. The pylon that is powering over here, and which is overcharged, is going to get taken down. And actually, now suddenly both robos are unpowered. MaNa are going to lose some production here for a little while, which may mean that the next attack from Zanster could be just that little bit more deadly. Again, a couple of creep tumors just continue to spread on forwards now. The +3 weapon upgrade on the forge, and charge upgrade is about 75% of the way done as well. Finally, MaNa getting the pylon back up over here. Might want to re-wall this though. Still empowering one, still has one gateway empowered. Again, just re-wall just to make sure Lings don't suddenly sneak on through. I mean, even if it's just a gateway that gets killed off again, it buys you the time, knowing that that gateway is being killed, to get some units in position and ready to, ready to deal with that and ready to tank and shut it down to some extent. A lot of units gathered in the center here. Well, not quite in the center, but to the side here for MaNa, lots of them going to start pushing out a bit. And while we do see that Hive is about 75% of the way done, so Zanster, he's going to hit his late game. Meanwhile, we see a fleet beacon from MaNa and probably a second Stargate. There it is. So, the third Stargate too. We are going to see MaNa hit the late game also. Both players stabilizing in this sort of aggressive mid-game stage. MaNa actually going to re-expand to the low ground 4th, which is a bit more open and engageable from the Zerg player, but well, we'll see how it turns out. Oh, he just lost every single High Templar. That's painful. Distracted by this Baneling attack in the natural. He's going to lose some more workers here as well. The fact he just lost all his HTs, though, is hugely unfortunate. The Warp Prism is also trying to harass, but only 3 workers killed. It's not been as effective as the attacks of Zanster across the map. And now, I'm actually surprised Zanster can't do more at the front because the High Templar are currently fresh and out of energy. But, I mean, he's slowly getting there. He's just got so much back on the other side of the map dealing with that Warp Prism. In fact, if he was just to go right now, he would just, I think, win, I guess, this High Templar back up. He's traded very well, though, Zanster, and those consistent trades have really started to benefit him. The fact that he's been able to slow down so much of the income of MaNa over the last 5 minutes as well really is the kind of reason in which he's maxed out and MaNa isn't right now. You know, when you have 2,000 resources income over your opponent every minute, after 4 minutes, that does add up. I mean, obviously it's not quite there, but it is all going to add up there is what I'm trying to say. And as these Lings push in towards the third base, we're going to see a couple of storms over to this side. Stasis Ward grabs a few more Zerglings once again and again. Ling Bane Hydra looking to see where he can go. Nice storm. Splits up, pushes forwards, and here we go. He's going to roll right on into this attack from the north side too. The stasis wards, if anything, are what's saving MaNa for now, but they won't last forever. And as some Lings come off of cooldown in the stasis, they're able to come in and tank for the Hydras, giving them what they need just to push through these Immortals. And now the tech of MaNa has been completely reset. It's pretty much non-existent. Banes come out of the stasis, a couple of Zealots will come into tank, but there's no overcharges left either. And again, MaNa, what do you do at this point? Fourth base going down yet again. And Zanster, just to make sure he's going to win this game, has got 11 Corruptors on the way out. Doesn't need to morph them into Broodlords though. MaNa knows what's up. He knows this situation is not weird because, like, we can only cast the same games until later today when there's 2 groups played at the same time. I still don't understand with best of 5 groups why they didn't just do 2 groups at once, twice over, you know? Because if they did 2 groups at once, twice over, they still would have had a good long stream. I mean, we're talking about, like, what? Yeah, I mean, it's true, right? We would have a good long stream. We were talking about, like, I mean, if this group takes about 5 hours, which it's heading towards right now, 3.5 in the losers match, with a decider match to play, yeah, it's still looking to be potentially 10 hours per group. And then, you know, if one group's finishing a bit faster, you can hold a match or 2. I don't know. It's the one thing I haven't quite understood about this event. The way the groups start and when they start and all the rest of it is crazy. Like yesterday, suddenly we had 4 groups all starting at once as well. It was truly all over the place. Bottom left-hand side of Proxima Station. Let's see if his macro plays can keep him in the series. I think the most important thing for him is that he just doesn't die to Adepts, because that was his issue throughout game number 1 and game number 2. Bottom left-hand side, Zanster. Top right from Team Liquid, it is MaNa. Looking to see if he can advance to play Bly in the decided match of this Group D. Don't forget, after Group D, we do have what I think many will look at as the Group of Death. I think if you don't look at it as the Group of Death, then I really don't know what you do look at as a Group of Death. But Group C, Neeb, Snoot, Serral, and Bjol. That is truly, and I mean truly, an insane group. Right? Like, does it get any crazier than that? Like, I saw that group last night, and it was the first thing I said, I was like, really, guys? Like, you're letting that be a group? Because that is insane. It's really insane. As we, again, set up into this, look to see how this goes. Look to see what we'll turn this into over the next few moments, basically. So, probe down here. I'm just going to back away from these few Zerglings. Again, wouldn't say there's too much ridiculous about that at all. And we do just see the Stargate on the way up from MaNa. He's been enjoying these Stargate openers. It's actually kind of weird. Yesterday we had so many PvZs where we didn't see a Stargate opener. And for me that was very strange because PvZ has been so much about Stargates recently. We've seen all the matchups in PV, all the Pros matchups seem to kind of take, not always, but sometimes a little bit of a different route lately. PvT's been seeing some very different routes back towards double Colossus playstyles and stuff like that, double Forges and so on. We've had some interesting developments in recent times, we really have. Adept continue to pull back up towards the upper right hand side. As we do have the evolution chamber coming down from Zanster as well. Very standard so far, wants to go into that +1 melee nice and quickly. And so far, again, it looks very similar to the last game in the sense that he just wants to set up initially in a strong macro sort of situation where he's going to be able to trade and just, again, just sort of Ling Bane his way in towards Hydras. And I mean, Proxima's this weird map though that definitely can go very late because of this fact that you can set up to defend 4 bases and more just by sitting in one location with your army. Now the Zerg player playing Ling Bane Hydra will have a couple different paths they can use to attack, but it's not going to be super easy to take an engagement against the Protoss, so we'll see if this is going to go into Ling Bane Hydra, which it should go into Ling Bane Hydra. But once it's Ling Bane Hydra, do we see the players trading off, or do we see them taking up into late game and just really playing what could be the longest game of this series so far. Anything is a possibility at this point. It really is. You could look at this in multiple different ways. As the Oracle flies in, 1 kill, gets pushed back. That's okay for now, as we see Twilight and a Forge from MaNa, so obviously we'll look towards +1 upgrades. Robo as well, the trifecta of Protoss structures, which you really saw, Protoss tech, that is required for pretty much any game, really. Upgrades in general. Then, of course, your gateway-based upgrades. And then, of course, your Robo to kind of get Observers, Prisms, Immortal Production, or whatever you want to go for. From a Robo Bay as well, whether that's Colossi, whether that's, you know, either Colossi, or you could also go for Disruptors. Both of those are very viable options, as we see this one. Phoenix will pick off this Overlord, and then back away through the top side once again. Oracle to the left-hand side is going to be still just kind of quite stationary, not really doing too much. The single Phoenix, which is Overlord hunting, not going to have the best of times just because of the fact that there's Overlord speed actually in play. So we'll not have the easiest times. You can see, this is nice. Stasis will block this base for a little while longer, and it's I guess going to be MaNa continue to look. He's actually really going to delay this 4th. I mean, Zanster has a lot of minerals in the bank. He wants his 4th base to be up, or at least to start building. Okay then, so we do see this Prism moving out onto the map, and in the meanwhile we do see the single Phoenix of MaNa is going to be coming in. And again, he does find an Overlord. I mean, Phoenix can keep up with speed Overlords, so it's just generally you don't expect Zanster to send them back on the map once there's been a Phoenix kind of sighted, so a little bit strange. Oracle's again, Stasis warding up, and he killed that drone as it came out. Now he builds another Stasis ward, and well, Zanster's just given up on that left-hand side 4th base. Instead, he'll take the 4th base towards the center. Now, the 4th base towards the center is a base which, well, it's a base which is more easily pushed into by the Protoss player, and that's why it's a little bit more vulnerable. And that's why initially he was probably hoping to take the left-hand side base instead. I mean, a gold base is nice, but again, Zanster probably doesn't really look towards the benefits of a gold base. He more so probably looks towards the fact that, man, this base is going to be more difficult to hold, and again, for him, that's not really what he wants right here. He wants ease, simplicity, and yeah, I mean, I know he's generally going to be the aggressor, but still, he doesn't want his base to be the one that's more easy to attack into on a counter-attack or something along those lines. Especially if later on he plays Lurkers or something, this base will really not be easy to hold if he could instead just have Lurkers across here, holding all 4 of them, so there's a possibility. We've seen some Lurker transitions more lately in the PvZ, and I mean, again, Lingbane Lurker is maybe not as popular, but it's something you can go into if you feel like you just need a way to stay alive and survive for a while. Lurkers can definitely do that to some extent. The only problem with going Lurkers is generally the Protoss player does already have the composition set up to fight against Lurkers. So it can be a little bit of a wait, you know, you can feel as though you're kind of going into a bit of a wasted kind of investment sometimes because you set up into these Lurkers, but your opponent already has like Charge Lord and Mortal Archon. I mean, the Lurkers are going to be pretty vulnerable no matter what, so. Prism play again shut down again. Zanster is on top of everything so far in this 4th game of the series. Again, he has been, well, again, when MaNa isn't going super aggressive and attacking all the time, he's generally kind of, you know, Zanster able to stay alive and, you know, doing a pretty good job for himself for the most part. A lot of Hydras up to this top side. We just followed them up here. Intrigued as to where they're going to go. Maybe some Dropper Lords, actually. There we go. 3 of them on the way up. So he's going to set into a little bit of a drop into the main. I mean, the idea is if you go for a high drop in the main, it requires a lot of attention to be paid to the Hydralisks in the main base. And that can distract the Protoss player a little bit to, you know, as to when it comes to kind of defending at the front. Now, they actually did this yesterday against Fear, and it was pretty successful, and it did do exactly what it was intended to, distract and annoy the Protoss. Fear was very good at kind of keeping his army at the front, but what he didn't do very well was that while he kept his army at the front, he didn't send much back to deal with it. He just sent some Zealot Warpins in to deal with it, which eventually just got cleaned up, and this army kind of, these Hydras kind of maybe lasted a lot longer than they should have done for a while, so we'll see how MaNa deals with this. Right now, obviously, he has to see the Hydras coming and dropping on in, and well, we are going to be seeing them in these Overlords now starting to unload, so we're going to unload a couple, 2, 3 probes going down. He's going to work his way and take down this pylon to the left side as well, so Pylon falls over here. Another couple of warp gates warping in, and well, MaNa is indeed just warping in some zealots. He does send some zealots and an immortal back. He doesn't have charge though, so actually the zealots are very interesting as a choice, just because of the fact that it's very difficult to push back something if you can't actually ever do damage to it, which the zealots won't do if the stasis ward. If the kiting is good. Wow, big stasis wards over here on the 4th base. That's a lot of Ling being caught up in this, and obviously MaNa should be looking to try and take advantage of that, you know, get units in position to stop these units from retreating and to really clean out a lot. Meanwhile, though, he's still dealing with the Hydras in the main, which are doing so much. And here we go, the Lings initially will just jump onto the Zealots. Archon here going to try and help out. That's really nice. Zanster was not paying attention to those Banes. All onto one Archon, really pretty much as inefficient as you get. Another couple of stasis wards are basically keeping MaNa alive right now, because the rest of these fights are not really going his way. The stasis wards are all that's keeping kind of Zanster from having too much and just overwhelming him time and time again at this point. And so MaNa will indeed hold on. The Hydra's only 4 of them left in the main / natural, and you will come back in and try and just do a little bit more with those still, of course. Honestly, it's been going so well in the main and natural, I wouldn't be surprised if he sent another wave of Hydras to the top side to get picked up and dropped here in the near future as well, because it has been a great success up until now. You know, he's been doing very, very good for himself. Once again, Archons, Templar, and Mortals spreading out between the bases, trying to defend, trying to have enough here to stay in the game. And now I see a Blink upgrade coming through as well. It's just set up into some stalkers. I mean, Blink will be nice against these Hydras, be able to blink on top of them, get rid of the Overlords as well, especially. You see this Overlord, which does get loaded up, is actually not the one targeted down. Now he reloads, and that is the Overlord that gets targeted down. So nice clean up. The Phoenix coming in as well. We'll finish that final Overlord off as an Oracle goes across the map and hits a Revelation. Flies back through the Hydras though. So while he doesn't drop the Revelation on the army, he does find out where that army is as the Oracle gets killed off by it. Storm comes down, doesn't connect on anything just yet. Again, Immortal and Archons together. We'll be looking to see what they can get up to. Units to the south side from MaNa are going to be, or from Zanster, sorry, going to be splitting up again, probably thinking about hitting an attack into the 4th while striking at the front too. Behind all of this, though, Zanster's going into the Greater Spire, so his continued tech is getting there. It's getting to this point where he's ready to go into the late game. Whereas MaNa is at this point which he's not really set to go into that at all. Now just upgrading charge. We don't see a fleet beacon. We don't see extra Stargates. MaNa has to do something soon. Either attack kind of in a pre-hive timing. Well, not really pre-hive, but I guess pre-hive tech. Pre-Broodlord timing, basically. So right now. Or he has to start throwing down his Stargates and go in late game himself, which he's just not doing. He's just sat here. He's just waiting. Like, he's not really doing anything. You see him getting a little bit surrounded here, perhaps. The Ling being Hydra to the left. Just Ling Hydra to the right. But, I mean, again, a surround against an army like this one can be so deadly. Here we go, running down into the 4th base. There's one cannon in position to defend. These Zealots drop so quickly. Adrenal glands on the way as well, so in case these Lings aren't already deadly enough, they're going to start doing way more damage really soon. Look how fast this Nexus dies anyways, though. Now this Ling Hydra's in a little bit of a tough spot. He'll turn and fight against some of these probes. Now, the Corruptor's on the way. Greater Spire is finished, and again, it's just going to be this situation for MaNa where he's not going to be able to realistically fight the Broodlords in an effective manner. He's going to be in this situation which is going to be so difficult to deal with, where you're going to have like Stalkers and Archons, but there's going to be Broods, and you can like, well, do I blink on top of them? And if you do that, then you die to the units underneath, and there's just no real right answer, apart from kind of, again, getting your own kind of super late game tech up and rolling. But that so far is just not going to be the case. That is just not happening here. Somehow these Hydras survived the right side. Obviously, MaNa just not sending enough back to deal with those. And we'll regret that a little bit, of course. I mean, it's a shame. No real reason to let that happen and to trade badly. We'll clean out these Hydras in the end, though. We'll get, I mean, they were pretty much suicided in when they went towards the 4th base, and the way they continued to push upwards, rather than retreating down south, it was pretty much destined they were going to die. I feel as though Zanster probably got way more value out of them than he ever thought he was going to once they got stuck in that upper right side. The fact they killed an Immortal and a Stalker or two was probably, again, way more than he was expecting. Lings will not be allowed back into the rebuild in 4th base right now as Zanster. The map really is controlled by him. The gold base that he took kind of reluctantly earlier paid off. He never had to actually worry about this. Another base up here would be nice because it's getting to that point where he is only on. He's not there yet, but he's getting very close to being mined out of his bases, so Another base shortly would be nice because the gold's about to mine out, as is the natural. Third will not be far behind. 2 nice feedbacks. They do a good job. Hits the storm on the Broodlords again, though. Is a storm enough? He's blinking forwards into spines. That's how desperate MaNa is to try and end this. He knows the situation is not good for him. And so blinking forwards into spines, probably not good for him either, but he really just wants to try and find a way to fight this. Desperate times call for desperate measures. And desperation, it's amazing what you will do when you're desperate. You know, when that feeling of desperation is upon you, it's amazing what you'll blink into or try and fight. And so here we go again. I mean, this army of Zanster slowly moving forwards. There's a big storm to kick things off on the ground, though. So a lot of Hydras bruised, a lot of Lings and Banes pretty much on the verge of death. You'll see again some more of these units going down. There's a blink forwards trying to do a little bit more. He gets one of the Broodlords now. Again, another storm coming down to try and soften up some of the units that are pushing in towards him on the ground. There's still just no way he fights against the Broodlords. The Broodlords are just so controlling in this situation, pushing MaNa back to the right and just stopping him from really doing anything at all, I think. Alright, well, Little Phoenix is going to fly forwards. There's Hydras here, though, so they're not really going to last forever. This Mothership Core as well. It's been very brave just running on into this here. Another wave of Stalkers blink forwards. The Broods are slowly dying. The reality is, though, that even if the Broods die, it's been such an inefficient trade because of how he's had to engage this multiple times now, that MaNa's just not going to have enough. And the better reality is that the Broodlords don't die, and that Zanster ties this series up 2 games apiece. And for the first time today, it's a good game. Bottom left-hand side of the map, our red Zerg player to kick us off. He's won 2 in a row. Both in, both when he's kind of gotten past the Adepts and when he's just been able to play his game. Which kind of worries me because it means that we might not see a longer game this time because I don't think the pros will allow it. To the bottom left, Zanster. And to the bottom right, Team Liquid's MaNa, who again I feel will just try and distract, annoy, kill before Zanster gets up into the sort of Hydralist phase of the game, because since he's been allowing him to get into that stage, life has just become a little bit more difficult for MaNa. And he's just not been able to deal with it. So, a couple of drones on the way down. Hatchery building on the natural. And the pro from MaNa just scouting around, of course, in the very early stages of Newkirk Precinct. And how's everyone feeling in the chat? How are you doing today? Tuned you in the break. Could have done with some more sound, some more volume. I don't know why my stream is so quiet, man. Like, my stream is really quiet compared to most people on stream. It's really weird. I just don't know how to turn it up any further. I don't know. I could probably change the I guess my Windows mic volume must be a little bit low, right? Just in general, I think the entire stream could do with being turned up a bit. Wow, my microphone level's like 27. That's so low. Why is it 27? I think I used to have it on like 60. Okay, that's probably why everything's so quiet lately. Okay, we can fix that at some point. Maybe not today, maybe tomorrow or something. At least we know why it's quiet then. I didn't realize it was on 27. That's insane. That's so quiet. It's actually ridiculous. Zanster is spamming Zerglings, so if we're talking about the pros player being aggressive, but it's actually going to be Zanster being aggressive right now, and well, Twilight from MaNa is not really going to help him to defend against this at all. Obviously, Twilight Council doesn't really do much when your main issue is that you're trying to deal with Zerglings. Like, it's not going to upgrade anything in time to help out. Going to be delaying the warp gate here for a few moments with these Lings. I mean, Ling speed isn't even done yet. Is there an Evo chamber? There isn't even an Evo chamber. He's just floating Lings forwards. MaNa will start a wall off over here, and he actually will complete the wall now. Zanster obviously will try and break on, will break that down. Doesn't have a lot of surface area to work with though. It's actually maybe a bit of a mistake by Zanster to not have an evolution chamber now, because as he pushes forwards, ooh, there's a gap there. So actually the surface area is a bit higher than you might expect. He's going to work his way through this pylon as well. No, the gateway is a better choice. But then the pylon to get rid of the overcharge. I mean, he's going to rebuild another gateway, but he can't actually because now the pylon's gone. He'll rebuild 2 pylons instead. The mothership core is helping, but the stalker will go down, and more links still flooding the front. MaNa only has 2 army supply. I mean, warp gate's about to finish. 2 more gates are building up. He'll re-wall more pylons. Oh, Corona Boost will go down on the warp gate on the cybernetics core. Try and speed things up over there. He doesn't want to lose this. I mean, the problem is, if he loses the cyber core, he still actually can't build too much. Zanster's still trying to break through here. Going back on the cyber core, he's a little bit indecisive. Look at all the damage that's spread across these different structures. Looks like the cyber core will go down, but not before 2 sentries come in. So actually, the sentries could be able to protect this. Yeah, he'll just fill a hole in the wall. Dark Shrine building off of the Twilight, by the way, which is going to be a good way to respond. Also, Resonant Glaives coming up. The fact that MaNa is going to have continued tech production is huge, but he could really do it with another cyber core, because right now he can't warp in anything other than Zealots. And Zealots are going to be a big part of this as they see the probes, and Zealots pulling forwards will not let these Zerglings get a proper surround underneath on the ground. Zealots aren't actually fighting, it's the probes that are in the way. 4 of the probes dropping, and now the sentries are dead as well. And, well, I think MaNa might just be a little bit dead because these Zerglings have broken through. Again, all he can warp in right now is Zealots, no cyber core. Means he can't even utilize this, utilize the fact that he's got Resonating Glaives. As these Ling's going to take down another Zealot right here, and again, these pros just being taken down again and again. 20 workers to 19, MaNa's still struggling. There's more Lings streaming across the map, and at this point, Zanster has done enough. He just needs spores at home, actually. DT will be coming into play. He will start swiping away at a few of these Zerglings. For now, the Zergling's going to be doing enough. I mean, the thing is, MaNa can't even warp in that much. So, again, as long as there's just a few spores at home, right now, Zanster's playing a dangerous game. I guess he's just reliant on the fact that he knows there's not going to be that many DTs. Goes back into the main. Overcharge is about to dissipate, so just wants to get more probes. Again, stop mining. The less mining there is, the better a position it is for Zanster. Obviously, here is, again, just going to keep on picking off more and more of these probes. 8 more dead, and now MaNa is on 8 workers to the 32. Back at home, Zanster has droned. He's spore crawled up, and he can just go into whatever he wants to continue the game. He really can. I mean, there's nothing to stop him. As MaNa will be the one who will struggle away with 9 workers trying to rebuild. This game did not go the right way for him. He did not hold off this link flood as well as he needed to stay in this and all the rest. It's going to be seeing the again, Ling is being turned around by the mothership core. Still some little bits and pieces here and there, just seeing what's happening. I mean, the reality is, Zanster can just go into whatever he wants now, like a lair, roaches. MaNa's still trying to defend at home with these DTs, which, they're picking up some good kills, but he's killing Zerglings, and killing Zerglings is cute and all, but it's not quite gonna, pull him back from the deficit he's in. Still 14 workers only. And now a lot more Lings on the way from Zanster. He's probably just realizing he's at this point where if he just spams Lings, he'll probably still win the game. He probably didn't even have to start drawing up. Obviously, it's the safer thing to do, the safer option. But again, there's no real response to this. Like, a pylon at the front is just going to get taken down immediately. And yeah, the DTs, they pick off Lings, but they pick off Lings very slowly compared to other units. Just because they kind of swipe so slowly, but do so much damage every swipe. There's a lot of overkill, a lot of damage lost when you kill a Zergling with a Dark Templar. Wolfgate on the low ground is going to get powered again. The pylon going to be protected by the overcharge. Will pick off the Nexus, and he's just going to die for the main base once more. I mean, why not? All the units on the low ground, the Nexus is in the main is unprotected. Throws down an overcharge. It's pretty much his only hope. It's the only thing he's got left to fight with. The probe surrounded here momentarily, and that is GG. Good luck. MaNa gets reverse sweeped by Zanster. He will advance through to rematch against Bly in the